Welcome back to Dooley's Dog Pod. I'm Johnny Trailer.
I am Noah Byeee.
And this is a podcast where we talk about everything that happens on Dooley Field in Sanford Stadium with your Georgia Bulldogs, except this time we're talking about something that happened in Kentucky. I don't know the name of their field or their stadium. I should know that. Kroger Stadium. Hey.
That's just a stupid stadium.
Hey, it's
Kroger?
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
That's where I shop.
Stop.
I'm broke.
Anyways, we're talking about all the mess that went down there, and then we're going to talk about the fact this is a bye week and the fact that we need it desperately. And we're also going to talk about our, you know what? No, we're not. We're not going to talk about Alabama because we can talk about Alabama next week. Yeah. So, we're going to recap Kentucky, talk about the bye, and if things sound different, that's my bad.
I'm glad you called yourself out because that was where I was going. Yeah, Donna forgot the mics.
I did forget the mics.
It's 10:15 at night. I've been awake since 6 a.m. Mm-hmm. Genuinely almost crashed out on her.
Well, we escaped without a crash out, thankfully. So
we're all happy in this boat.
Yes, we're good.
So yeah, I mean, speaking of crash outs.
Oh Lord.
I almost crashed. Kentucky was rough. I mean, just going into it hot. Watching people text me, "What's happening?" and me just send time codes of the podcast. We said it was going to be rough. I don't think either of us thought it was going to be easy. I don't think we thought it was going to be that rough.
No, definitely not.
But history kind of tells the tale.
Yeah.
That this happens every time we go to Lexington.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wasn't that surprised that we didn't look great. You know who they didn't have that we didn't even bring up last week? Ray Davis.
Oh, yeah.
The blue-eyed monster that I was terrified of last year.
I'm screaming.
So, like, even without Blue-Eyed Scary Man, they were still pretty good. Or at least enough to not let us go crazy.
I mean, so many people told me that they never had a doubt that we were going to win that game. And I just I'm like, you cannot possibly be telling the truth because if so, you weren't watching the same game as me. Because, yes, did I feel like we were going to go, match, whatever, but it definitely felt like one of those times when, it could easily come down to whoever has the ball the last possession, and that could be who wins the game. And you just don't know when you're starting the third quarter if that's going to be us or them. And so I was hoping that it was going to be one of those, almost kind of like it was with Clemson, where the first half is just so rough because we have always been a second half team, and we're going to come out second half and just start stomping. And that's not what happened, at all. And so, anyways, that game, talk about a crash out. It was so bad. Watching the game at Dakota's house, the one who joined us for the Clemson podcast, or post-Clemson podcast. And I was losing my mind. And, he's saying, it's going to be fine. I text Chris, who's actively at the game shooting. He's like, man. I'm like, hello? What are we doing? Yeah, no. It was so much. But like Noah said, historically, this is just a classic case of history repeating itself. Again, last two times we played them there, 16-7, 14-3, right? So, again, yet to score 20 points on them in years at this point.
In Lexington.
Yes, in Lexington. Because, last year we played them here, we were 51 or something. It's just, whatever. Something about that field, they got some mojo, some whatever it is going on over there. And it just is horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, also, Athens' hometown boy Brock Vandegrift played solid. I think Kentucky, to be fair, I'm not going to say played lights out, but played to the best of their ability, it seemed like. And I mean, Brock Vandegrift was running a lot and making things happen with his feet.
Yeah. So my thing is, right, lots of very circumstantial things happen when it comes to this game. And in this particular case, you have to think about the fact that we're playing a quarterback that is us. Mm-hmm. There's not going to be a single quarterback, I don't care how much film you study, who knows our defense the way that Brock Vandegrift knows our defense, because he played against our defense for years. And it's just you have to think about that. You have to think about the fact that defensively, they had Jamon Lewis-Johnson, who was one of our defensive captains last year, who, like, Chris pointed this out, like, every single time we make it, like, we line up, Carson calls an audible, Jamon points exactly to who was going to get the ball.
Yeah.
And, like, that's exactly who we gave it to. Every single time. And it's just like, you know, we played a team that has an inside man on both sides of the ball, one of which offensively being the quarterback, which is like a huge deal. That said, I'm not discrediting Kentucky at all. Like, they had a great game. To Noah's point, Brock had a great game.
Well,
like,
you know, I will say, like,
played a solid game.
watching it, it seemed like he did a lot better. I'm looking at the stats.
Well, that's what Chris kept saying.
He looked like he played a lot better watching the game
Yeah.
than the stats are talking, because he threw for like 50% for 100 yards.
Yep.
And only ran for 26 yards.
Yeah.
He averaged 2.
Mm-hmm.
He looked way better than that.
Yes.
I wonder. Interesting.
And it terrified me because mainly the running aspect, right? Because I'm like, if we can't stop a running quarterback, which is what it felt like in the game.
2 weeks from now.
Exactly. Jalen Milroe!
I'm going to cry.
Oh! I have no words to explain that, which is why I'm going to keep saying this. It's going to be a recurring statement in this podcast. Thank God we have a bye week. Because now we have 2 weeks to learn how to stop a running quarterback. I don't care who it is. Give somebody the ball and say, your name is Jalen today. And they just need to start running. And we just need to, like, figure it out from anywhere. I mean, like, these people could be walking across campus. You give somebody a football and say, figure it out. Because I just am just terrified of Jalen. I mean, you never know. That'd be a great drill.
Not for the kid on campus.
I mean, let them know ahead of time. Be like, hey.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It was terrible.
I'm tired of watching Bobo Ball.
Oh my gosh.
I can't watch us go, like, so conservative and then, like, I don't know, second half, let's not throw a screen and throw down the field. And then when it's not working, they're like, huh. It's just that, like, we can't wait. We wait to be a good team. We save plays. We do these little baby plays. And it's like, yeah, I just stop running the same play. Stop running a screen every time you get the ball. Like,
oh my God.
Run an actual passing concept.
Speaking of, right? So I haven't seen us be that, like, to your point, conservative as far as throwing the ball in what feels like years. Like, I don't know why we would not throw the ball. And then, how many running backs do we have? Like, solid running backs do we have?
Like 3?
Exactly. Why do we only consistently run one of them? It was Trevor Etienne. Oh, I forgot. Nate Frazier exists. Let's have him out there for one run. Okay, now Trevor Etienne. But what happens when we need a touchdown? We randomly throw Branson Robinson out there, who I forgot was on the team because at this point hadn't been in the game for the entire time. I was like, oh, who is this? Who's this random number 22? I've never seen him before. Where'd he come from? Yeah. And then, what does he do? Score immediately. 1 carry, scores a touchdown.
Thank God.
And I'm just like, this is one of those times when I've said it before on this podcast. I can't even remember when it was that, like, maybe it was the South Carolina game last year which, I mean, we have one of these games a year. Missouri 2 years ago, South Carolina last year, technically South Carolina, and who's the other team we struggled against a little bit last year? I can't remember. Anywho, like, we have these games, and I feel like Kirby does this mess on purpose. And you know I've said this before in the podcast, of, like, it feels like sometimes he just does it on purpose. And one of the reasons why I say that this time around is because we literally have, like, the halftime interview with Kirby and then, like, the pre-fourth quarter interview with Kirby, and this man is like this. This man is smiling, cheesing, happy-go-lucky. Like, he's like, yeah, we're not doing so hot right now, but, like, I think we're doing what we need to get done. And it's just like, you're not stressed enough for me. And I get your whole entire identity is built around composure. I know that. We all know that. It's on every single wall in that building. We got it. Composure. But, like, where's the... Like, this team is literally beating us right now. At halftime.
Yeah. I think it's really funny that at this point, we are convinced, whether it be true or not, that Kirby Smart intentionally makes games difficult.
100%.
Specifically because now we're ranked number 2.
Exactly.
And now we have a chip on our shoulder.
Exactly.
And the mind game continues of, y'all are the best. Y'all gotta work. Because when we did that against Tennessee, we destroyed Tennessee.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you cannot tell me at this point this man's not doing it on purpose, because literally now we go face Alabama, right? We have 2 weeks. He has 2 weeks to drill into their heads. We should be number 1 and blah, 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 and like blah, blah, blah. And everybody's saying that we don't deserve it, da, 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 da. 2 weeks before we play Alabama to do that. Why? Because we did not throw a pass in the whole second half of a game against Kentucky, who has a credible defense, right? And it's just like, you said you were sick of people being like, what's happening? You had to be like, reference the podcast. What I was sick of is people being like, Georgia's not as good as South Carolina, because South Carolina blew out Kentucky last week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I have to sit here and have to like listen to these people, anybody, I don't care who it is, be like, oh, Georgia's not as good as South Carolina. I'm like, I need everybody to just shut up, okay? But like, it's like, again, if you compare the 2 games, I don't know. It just stresses me out, because I'm like, Kirby, if you're doing this on purpose, again, like I said the last time I said this, can you just let me know? I won't tell anybody. I won't have to share that with the world. But I just need to know for my own mental health that, like, hey, we're going to do some dumb crap on purpose. We're going to tank this game on purpose so that we can get in each other's, like, get in the guys' heads and make them turn this around. But we'll see. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like he's trying to do an attitude adjustment.
I mean, he's so ingenious, he could actually pull it off.
Yeah, and this is a team that could probably use an attitude adjustment, to be fair, from a few different standpoints.
Reality check.
Yeah. But it was like, seriously, the second year we won the Natty, the back-to-back year, fully convinced this team that people were telling them they shouldn't win it again.
Yeah.
When they were obviously the favorites.
Yeah.
He actually somehow
he's a mastermind.
Convinced everyone in that building that people thought they
were the underdog.
Yeah. And I don't know how he did it. And that's what brings me to the point of maybe the play calling would point to that.
Makes sense.
To where it's like, they're going to call whatever play they're going to play. Call whatever play that they want to call.
Yeah.
And guys are going to be frustrated about it, but they're still going to go out and do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if, like, in their head, they're like,
100%.
We've ran the ball 100 times. It's more like, we got to do this. This is the play. Let's run it. Let's do good. Yeah. Whereas we're kind of watching the outside looking in. It's like, wait a second. You're still running the ball. Yeah. And we're not winning this game. Why are you killing the clock?
Yes. No, to your point, like, literally, like, the fact that they're going to do whatever they're going to run the play that's called.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think I could ever really fathom a moment when, because, like, I feel like someone's asked Stetson something like that before, where it's like, where he was, basically, there was a play that was no, it's not Stetson. I'm trying to think of, like, who this comes from. It's, like, a major quarterback who had to basically, like, completely do something opposite than what they were told. It's Joe Burrow. And I don't know if it was I think it was in, like, the first year that I think they made the Super Bowl that year.
Okay.
And it was in the winning drive to get them either to the championship, like the conference championship, or to get them to the Super Bowl. But basically he said that, like, they called a play, so it's like you're going to run the play. And then something happened on the defensive side that he noticed beforehand, and, like, the headset went out. And so he couldn't talk to the offensive coordinator or the head coach and be like, hey, we have to change this. So he had to call the entire drive, like, on his own. He just had to make it up as he went. And, like, how he talked about how, like, the coach was like, what are you doing? What's going on? You're not listening to anything I'm saying. And it's like, the headset went out. And so my thing is, if the headset had gone out during this Kentucky game, maybe then Carson would have been like, oh, I'm going to actually do what I can do and, like, throw the ball, do this, do that, do the other. But while he still has a functioning headset, he has to do what it's called, because, or else, like, it would just be like, what are we doing? Like, this man, they're not robots, but, like, I mean, again, to your point, with, like, Kirby and his masterminding this and his brainwashing, it's like, they just are like, do exactly what they're told.
It's a dictatorship in Georgia.
It literally is.
And he's really good at it. I mean, there's a reason he keeps doing it. It works, and we win games.
We had the lowest total yardage in the first half in this game than we've had since 2017. So it was lower than that. So
Brother,
in 2017,
this guy stinks.
literally, against Auburn, we had 105 yards in the first half. That was our lowest until this past game where we had less than 65 yards or 65 yards or less or whatever in the first half of the game. Like the fact that there's like a 40-yard difference between the two is insane. That we dropped off by that much. But it's just like,
you know,
I don't know.
with all the bad things, there were good things.
Like what?
Jalen Walker is my second favorite human to exist.
Who's your first?
My girlfriend.
I'm screaming.
Or my mom, whichever one's watching.
Whichever one's watching.
Or my grandmother.
I'm hollering.
My first was gonna be CJ because I was on the Georgia football trend. But yeah, no, like I don't know, no Jalen Walker.
I mean, yeah, that man had a game, and he also had one of the craziest penalties I've ever seen in my entire life when they were like, "Oh, roughing the passer. Do you want this man to 240 pounds or something like that? You want him to stop in midair? In midair, you want this man to be like, oh, never mind. He doesn't have the ball anymore. Let me stop. Let me lower myself to the ground. You got it. Move on. Hello? That was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Made no sense. I was like, that tarnished his like great, phenomenal game that he had. I will say too, to your point. Well, do you have any more other good things you want to point out?
No, that's actually there's nothing else.
Jalen Walker is the good thing.
There's nothing else.
CJ had a good game too.
CJ played fine. I think at this point it's just like, yeah, CJ played good.
Yeah, it's like we already know. That's it, right? So, like, Kentucky's defense is like notable or whatever. Their offense, like, in my opinion, seemed like they did so much better than they did. Again, when you look at the score and the fact that we still haven't allowed a touchdown, right? Let's keep that in mind.
Oh my God. Kentucky's kicker.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ. He had a 55, like two or three 50+ yard field goals.
Kudos to that man.
Yeah, no, he almost won the game. I was getting flashbacks to Mevis from Missouri, where he just hit every field goal that he
dude,
kicked.
or the guy from Ohio State. I don't know. I don't remember his name, but like he was also like one of the top in the country when we played him, and it was insane.
No, it's okay. So past weekend, 4 for 4, longest was 55 yards. Mm-hmm. Give me a second to see if I can find the other ones. Start talking.
I was just gonna note that, you know, as tough as the game seemed like it was, like we still didn't allow them to score a touchdown, and we also like, you know, we hung in there as far as getting to the red zone, or you know, we're getting where we need to be, especially into field goal range, obviously.
All right, here I'm back. Back with the stats. 130 to 39, 140 to 49, 2 50+ yard field goals. Yeah. So it was like after we punt the ball, they run 2 successful plays, and dude can hit a field goal.
Yep.
That was a whole other thing. Alex Raynor. Yeah. Kennesaw, Georgia.
My mom likes that last name. She was like, Raynor? Isn't that such a cool name, Raynor? I was like, no.
Is that how they say it, Raynor?
I think so.
I thought I was saying it stupid.
No.
Like intentionally.
I think it's Raynor.
Oh, okay. But yeah, no, from Kennesaw, Georgia.
Props to you, dude.
Dude had a game.
You balled out. You were your team's MVP.
He scored every point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane.
Well, yeah. Anyways, I was saying all that to say, like, as good of a game as Jalen Walker had. What?
I just out of nowhere. Oh my God!
Yeah, no.
Like it just hit me like a truck.
As good of a game as Jalen Walker had, as good a game as we technically had as a whole to, again, not allow them to score a touchdown. My God, if we had Michael Williams to mirror Jalen Walker, how different would this game have gone? If we had Warren Brinson, how different would this game have gone? If we had Jordan Hall, how different could this game have gone? Like, I'm just hoping and begging and praying that these people are back in time for Bama.
Oh, Tate won't be.
Tate won't be, sadly.
Tate's coming back, maybe for Florida. Probably not, because Florida's about to fire their head coach because they are dog water.
Oh.
But that's besides the point. It's just a
Anyway. Yeah, no. My boy Tate, Mullet Man, we're wishing you a speedy recovery. That said,
see, now he has time to come do Dooley's dog pod.
Stop. Get out of here. Anyways, yes, no. We have Michael, Warren, like, the two of them I'm very, very hopeful we're going to have in time for Alabama. I don't know about Jordan, though.
I don't think Jordan's going to be back in time. We'll see.
Yeah.
Even if he is, I don't know if he'll be, like, playing.
Yeah.
Like, he could be ready and it's just not worth it.
Yes. And then I can only assume that maybe Branson Robinson isn't 100% either, and that's why they didn't run him as much in this game.
Yeah.
But regardless, not that we could face anybody. I don't want our team to be 100%, but like I honestly would like our team to be 110% against Alabama just because of who they are and where we're playing. Like I would feel a little bit more confident if we were playing at home, but like not only is it Alabama, which just obviously has always seemed to just been that hump we can't get over, except for, you know what, we're not playing in Atlanta, so who knows? But then also it's just the fact that like
we won in Atlanta, right?
No!
Oh, we won in Indy.
We've never beat them in Atlanta.
That's crazy. Yeah, we won in Indy.
Lost the SEC championship game that year
in
Atlanta. Lost the SEC championship game last year in Atlanta.
It's too close to them.
We just can't.
They have really good fans.
It's too close to them.
Yeah.
It is us.
Yeah.
Atlanta is a home game for us.
Yeah, and they pack it out. I'm just saying they have good fans.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, they have great fans, but that shouldn't.
They have good fans.
Literally, this game's gonna be crazy. And I don't know if I'm excited or rather happy that I have 2 weeks to mentally prepare for it, or if I wish it was just tomorrow so I could just go ahead and figure out what happens.
I'll give you my 2 week, way too early score prediction.
Sure.
It's going to be like 17-14. Or like 21-13.
What's your final answer?
That's not like a
Final answer for a 2 week early.
17-14.
17-14. Who?
I'll take Georgia probably.
I'd be like, you know what? I'm leaving right now.
If I was going to take Alabama to win, I would go 15-14 Alabama. Georgia misses a field goal to lose.
Ew.
Yeah.
I hate that. You know what I also hate? I hate our score from this past week. 12-13 is such an ugly score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hate that score too, but I think that's what happens. I don't know if it'll be a high scoring game. I feel like both teams are capable of scoring a lot of points, and because of that, they won't. It's just my thought.
You're like 2 week out reverse psychology, like, oh my god. I'm actually not going to go score for this because I don't know.
Yeah.
But like
you don't have to.
All I know is I think if you look at our teams. No, we're not. We're doing that next week.
I'm going to come in next week and it's going to be totally different because I'm going to actually like look at it. I have a bye week to relax.
Yes.
And I'm going to be like, oh.
Yes.
Change my mind. But also happening in football this past week. Archie Manning is a god. He played, what was it? Some nowhere school. It was UTSA, yeah. Yeah, but bro balled out. He apparently matched Tyreek Hill's speed on his run. I've seen the graphic. I haven't fact checked it or seen like where that came from, but yeah, bro was moving quite a bit. And somebody was like, I can't remember the other Manning brother's name, but they're like, it's got to be his son because Eli or Peyton ain't doing that. And they're just like, that's fair.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Nebraska wins again.
Let's talk about Tennessee. Who put up 65 points in the first half of their game.
Tennessee. Jesus.
Tennessee 71-0 against Kent State.
Kent State didn't deserve that. Let the MAC live.
They did not.
All my homies in the MAC hate Tennessee. Do you even know what the MAC is?
I do not.
The Mid-Atlantic Conference? It's like Kent State, Akron, Miami, Ohio.
Interesting.
Western Michigan.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Overall, the SEC, everyone who wasn't playing, sorry, Mississippi State. I didn't mean to call y'all out like that. I was gonna say everybody in the SEC who wasn't playing another SEC team, aka everyone except for us in Kentucky, balled out like big time. Another note though, there LSU and South Carolina. That was a great game. I don't know if anybody watched that. If you didn't and you want to see some good football, go back and watch that.
That was a good game.
Well, it was a lot of penalties. But
I want
still a
South
good
Carolina to win that.
I did too.
Also times 3 or 4. I don't know what we're on right now. Memphis beat Florida State.
Oh yeah, girl. Yeah, girl. Yeah, girl.
Florida State are frauds.
Florida State, I don't even have. I try to defend them.
It's not worth it.
It's not at this point. But yeah, no. So they got beat by Memphis, and then Mississippi State got beat by Toledo.
Look,
whatever.
Going into this week, Florida State is only favorited by 2 against Cal in Tallahassee.
I really don't.
I would take Cal winning that game.
I agree with that.
Which is insane. But, I think Florida State are the biggest fraud team ever, which is crazy that they're firing.
Are they ranked anymore?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe no, I'm lying. I'm lying so much. There's no way they're ranked.
I'm lying so much.
I am lying maximum. Yeah, no, they're not ranked.
Okay.
I'm talking out the side of my neck.
So.
Yeah, no, Cal 3-0 against UC Davis, Auburn, and San Diego State. They beat Auburn 21-14.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's I'm not gonna say 0. The Florida State wins this, but Florida State's bad. They are really bad. And when we talk about Florida coaches getting fired, I remember I saw the headline at first, and it is the University of Florida's coach is on the hot seat. I thought it was Florida State's.
They won't fire him before the end of this year. Honestly, I think they might give him one more year before they fire him.
So what's happening in Florida is the donors are trying to gather up the $28 million left guaranteed on his contract to pay him out before the season ends.
That's crazy.
And I saw the headline and I immediately thought it was Florida State.
Nope.
And I looked deeper past my glance of scrolling and it was not. I was like...
My glance of scrolling.
Yeah.
Nebraska plays Illinois.
I'm taking Nebraska.
On Friday.
I'm a Cornhusker at 8 p.m.
Apparently. I think that'll be interesting.
What are Stevens doing Friday? If you want to watch
right?
Nebraska game,
yeah. He'll probably be down.
What am I doing Friday? It's more important.
Clemson versus NC State should not be a game, but it would be really funny if it was.
I can't wait to watch NC State beat Clemson.
Stop.
I'm serious.
Stop.
NC State is the truth.
Stop.
They're certified.
Stop.
What do you mean stop?
Anyways.
Certified. What, they lose to Tennessee 51-10 and now they can't beat anybody?
Georgia
Clemson
Tech.
getting upset. Sorry.
Georgia Tech plays Louisville, which
Georgia Tech's going to lose.
could be a game.
No, they're bad.
But it could be a game.
I thought they were good.
See.
And then Florida State was just bad.
What else? That's true.
The
That is true.
biggest tease in college football.
Anything else interesting to look out for out there? Tennessee versus Oklahoma. That could be a good game because that'll be Tennessee's first game that's not against a high school. And stop. Why are you laughing? As if we don't say this every week.
It's just, I say it. You don't.
I do too. Anyway.
Now, apparently.
So, how crazy would it be if Georgia Southern upset Ole Miss?
Do
you know what that would be?
Well, Eagle!
Eagle! Oh my god. I'm crying. Okay, yeah, and that's it. And number 1, Texas, which I absolutely despise. You know what's so sad? So last year, for the most part, obviously we were number 1. And then, so when they announced us at our home games, it's like, you're number 1. Back-to-back defending national champion, right? So you come into this year, and you already can't say defending national champion.
We said number 1.
Rough. But we can say number 1. Now what can we say? When we run out of the flag, what are they going to say? And now, your team.
The vibes, guys. Really big on vibes, guys.
And now the team that's in red, white, and black.
The vibes.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Oh. My God.
Something shocking him. What? Stop.
I was just looking at the Georgia-Texas game on my scrolling. Georgia is currently a 30% chance to win that game.
That is so sad.
I think that'll change.
I don't know.
They have to play Oklahoma the week before us, and they've beat no one.
I was about to say that'll be their first
They beat Colorado State.
non-high school game.
They've beat Michigan. Michigan total frauds. Like if they end the year not ranked, I wouldn't be surprised. Total frauds. UTSA last week. Arch Manning's good, but he played against high schoolers.
Yeah.
But like that's a good game for him to come in and play. Quinn Ewers is coming back. It's kind of been said that injury was not serious as they thought it could be.
Abdominal, yeah.
Yeah, it's not as serious as they thought it was.
Yeah.
This week they play UL Monroe, and then Mississippi State the next week, then Oklahoma, then us. You know, they don't have a strong schedule. I don't want to hear a bad word about us not having a strong schedule. Them? That is weak.
Wait, no. Nobody said this year that Georgia doesn't have a strong schedule.
But like
they said it in years past, honestly.
I've heard it all these previous years, and then Texas has this. Like, people just want Texas to be that good.
And Ole Miss have cakewalks.
Yeah, this is so easy. I wish we played... Actually, I don't wish this because it's no fun. Get your money up, stupid Texas. Like, UTSA, UL Monroe, back-to-back. Sorry you have to be a Longhorn because those games have to suck to watch.
I mean...
The stadium here would be empty by the second quarter.
That's how it was against whoever we played.
Yeah.
Tennessee Tech.
My point.
Yeah, no. People always are like, why does Georgia always open the season with like a small school or whatever?
It's supposed to be Oklahoma this year.
Yeah, and it's like they say that, or they're also like, oh, Georgia always plays all these small schools. We play like one, maybe two small schools a year.
Yeah.
And then it's just straight up non-conference people who are actually decent, like a Clemson.
Yeah.
Or it's straight in the SEC. Like I don't know, like, but whatever. That's besides the point.
Also, at some point you can't move out of your conference. You get into conference play. And like this year was a cakewalk because it was supposed to be Oklahoma and then they joined the SEC. Or last year.
Something like that.
Yeah, no, because this year was Clemson. Last year was
year.
supposed to be Oklahoma, but because they were joining the SEC, it got moved. So we played who knows who.
UT Martin.
Yeah, Martin.
What the world is that?
Anyway. But besides that, yeah, we play like a big opener. It's not like a week 0 game, but we always play a big opener.
Like we play it was supposed to be Oklahoma, and instead it was UT Martin. This year was Clemson. The year before that was Oregon. I need everybody to be so serious, okay? Like I can't with the slander. That's what it is at this point.
Yeah.
Anywho,
that's all I got. Battery
that's
dead.
all I have as well.
Battery dead.
This has been a total all over the place.
Yeah.
But I feel like we talked about some stuff that was necessary. You know, it was good to preview this upcoming week and talk about some of the crazy stuff that happened this past week that wasn't just us. So yeah, I mean,
my computer just died.
We're very much stressed about this Alabama game already, but I'm trying not to be because
you were stressed.
Excuse me. So yeah, that's scary. And I'm still definitely more scared of Texas than I am of Alabama.
Yeah.
But I am still scared of Alabama, don't get me wrong.
Also, to be fair, it's a 12-team playoff. We could get in with 2 wins or 2 losses.
This is very true.
We could possibly get in with 3.
Some people said that we now should be scared that we're going to lose to Tennessee. I don't.
Bruh, it's in Athens.
Y'all, if you're not watching, go watch this part of the podcast because the look on his face when I just said that, which I'm being dead serious. I've heard multiple people say like that they're more like that we're more likely to lose to Tennessee than we are to Alabama now, and I'm like I just can't.
Dude, who's been telling you this?
I'll tell you in a second.
Anyways, can you name drop them?
Nope.
I want to publicly shame them.
Not gonna know.
Have they turned on their TV once this year? Just stupid.
Oh my gosh. Anyways.
Insert name here.
No.
Dummy.
No.
I'll send it to just then.
Stop. Dummy. Anyways.
So stupid.
This has been Dooley's Dog Pod. I'm Donna Trailer.
And I'm the certified hater, no advice.
Anyways. And we thank you for listening to this week's episode or watching this week's episode. This is a bye week. You know, enjoy your Saturday off. We're going to enjoy our Saturdays off. I mean, I'm still going to be watching college football because obviously, but grand scheme of things, we don't have a game. So we can stress about other teams that aren't Georgia, aka not stress at all. So, and we have extra time to prepare for Alabama next week mentally, which is what I need. Because after that Kentucky game, ooh, boy. boy, do I need a break. Anyways, no, you got anything?
Who said Tennessee was going to be a harder game than Alabama?
We will talk about it when we cut the cameras.
So
Anyway,
stupid.
that said, peace out. We're outie.